Here's a movement session for elemental balance. You're going to start on your back and take the soles of the feet on the floor. And if you have a block or even just like a thick folded blanket, I want you to put it underneath your sacrum. So get really settled in on that, and you want the sacrum to fall down into the block, and then start to take really deep breaths there. And of course, just a little visual for those who are looking for the sacrum, it's right above the flesh of the tush, just below the low back. And then start to take some really deep, full breaths here. Feel your breath going in and out of the space of the sacrum. Feel your feet on the floor. And take a few breaths in and out of the space between the feet and the sacrum. Getting in touch with your earthy energy. And if you want to put your hands on your hips, sometimes that can feel good, or hands palms down on the ground. And just notice the earth underneath you, and notice all the parts of you that are made of earth. And just take a couple of big breaths out of them. The way that we bring ourselves back into balance is first noticing what feels out of balance, right? First, just being able to check in with the space inside. Now, the next thing you're going to do is just hug your left knee in towards your chest. And then you can extend the right leg if that feels okay. For some people, they find they want to scooch the block a little bit as they make that adjustment, maybe forward toward the foot. So you're now hugging your left knee in, and your right leg is extended. And you can just kind of play around with what sort of stretches start to happen here, what kind of sensation happens here. And now option to let the left knee actually fall out to the side. Take your right arm out to the right and let your head turn toward the right. 2 more breaths. Again, just feeling into our earthen parts. Letting them become closer to the earth underneath us. And then come back up to center. And switch sides. So right knee hugs in, now left leg extends. Or just the opposite of what you did before. And you're breathing here. Noticing where the sensations are, adjusting as you need. And then let the right knee fall out to the right. And for me, that starts to give me, some gentle stretching sensation in through the hips. Some people might feel it even more intensely. And then coming back up toward the center, just roll your ankles a couple times. You can pick up the feet, you can roll the ankles. Yeah. And then go ahead and put the feet back on the ground and lift up through the hips and remove the block and put it off to the side. And let your pelvis land heavy on the earth, and then go ahead and bring your arms and your legs in the air. And let's go ahead and make that circulating through the whole, through all 4 limbs. So you're just going to move the limbs around. You can move your hands and wrists. And now just kind of get in touch with the watery elements in the body. The blood moving in the veins, the water in your cells. As if you've got water now all around you, moving the limbs. Think lubrication of the joints. Think fluidity. Move your head a little bit, move the face a little bit. Good, then hug your knees into your chest, rock up to sit, and then come into a reverse tabletop. Hands underneath your shoulders with the fingers pointing toward the heels. Feet underneath the knees, hips lift, and then breath of fire here. So it's a pumping of the belly breath. Keep that going. We're doing this for about a minute. If you need to come down and sit and do it, you can. Keep going. Unlike Kapalabhati, it's an equal inhale and exhale. So you really pull in the inhale and you really push out the exhale right at the belly level. Go at your pace. If you can, gaze at your third eye. You're halfway through. Got my eye on our clock here. I know it's a lot of work. Like I said, come down and rest if you need, or build that fire right where you are.
Keep going, clean yourself out. Just a little more time here, 10 more seconds. And then find your way coming on down, really nice work. We're just gonna do a little bit of seated work. You could either be cross-legged or you could be on your shins, however you wanna be here. And then you're gonna take the left arm alongside the ear and you're gonna stretch. Option to take your left hand behind the base of the skull and just kind of lengthen the back of the neck. But now you're honoring all these airy parts. And of course, now you've got some heat in the body. So we just met fire. We met fire in a trial by fire. So we didn't have a lot of time to think about fire. We just were in it. And then just simply come to the other side with the stretch. Reaching through the right arm, kind of dropping down the right hip. And then maybe you take that right hand to the base of the skull if that feels appropriate and sort of lengthen the back of the neck. And feel the air circulating through these spaces in your body. Great, then you're actually gonna come on up to stand. So make any adjustments that you need to do for that. And then coming up to stand, I want you to feel the building of the elements. So feel the feet directly underneath the hips, right? Feel the shoulders directly over the hips. Feel the crown of the head at the top. Feel that earthy energy now flowing up through the lower body. Imagine a bowl of water in your pelvis. A fire right here at your solar plexus. Feel the air element here. And then finally above you, see if you can start to feel the ether. And we're actually going to move with that a little bit here. Pick up your left foot and place it for tree, Vrikshasana. And if you have a tough time balancing in Vrikshasana, just stay. And you can bring your hands to prayer. You could be wherever you want to be. Otherwise, we're going to do this arm variation where we move the elements here. So you're going to take your hands palms up, right around the low belly. And then you're going to use the inhale to lift that energy up. Turn the palms around. And then as you exhale, just sort of caress the space around you. And we'll do that a few more times. Lifting on the inhale. And then caressing the space around us as we breathe out. Cleaning out the spaces of the elements. And then cleansing out the ether all around us. One more time. Cycling all the way through. And then end up with your hands in prayer in front of your heart and simply switch sides. Place that foot, it could be in the thigh, it could be at the calf, it could be toes on the ground. Find the stability first, right? That's earth element for me. Feel your feet growing roots, both of them, wherever, into whatever they're touching. And then use the inhale to lift the hands up if that's possible today. Every gesture we do is truly all 5 of the elements working together. I know I don't talk a lot about ether. It's a little harder to talk about in the movement class, but all of the elements working together in harmony. Combing up through the center line. And then cleansing the space around you. We'll meet in hands in prayer. Hands in prayer. And then you'll simply take that right knee forward and step that foot down. Really nice. Again, feel those roots growing down. Feel the fire in your belly. Feel that lift of the crown. Now we're going to come into Utkatasana at the front of the mat. So I'll demonstrate this way. And you may want blocks at the front of your mat as well. So Utkatasana, let's sit the hips back deep and low and sit back so that we've got our inner knees together, squeezing together. 2 more breaths here, building a little inner fire in Utkatasana. Then take your hands to prayer and tilt your heart forward, pick up your left leg, warrior 3. And you could either put the hands down onto blocks for warrior 3, or keep the hands up, or reach the arms forward, your variation as well. Breathe deeply. For 3. Hear your breath, maybe it's that Ujjayi breath. 4. And 5. Land back into a high lunge. Interlace the fingers and turn your palms up toward the sky. Keep pressing down through your feet, keep growing roots downward. Now inhale, lift up through the chest, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend. Let the knee land directly over the ankle. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten the front leg, and then spin the back heel down and open out, triangle pose. Reach way forward through the right arm. Connect the right hand to the shin, the left fingertips reach up to the sky. Breathe here for 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Come back up to the high lunge, arms up alongside your ears. Bend the front knee. Take your hands down to the ground and step back to plank pose. Big breath in. Let's do just a little chaturanga here. We'll come back up to plank. So stay light on your toe tips, then come back up, plank pose, inhale, and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Exhale. First downward dog of practice. We'll be here a few breaths. Really press down through the hands and the feet. Notice how the elements work here. Notice your connection to the earthiness. Notice your connection to the lightness of air and breath. Notice the water and the fire that move in between. Keep them all communicating with the way that you breathe and the way that you are aware in your body. Looking forward, you could step or hop your feet forward between your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down into your legs. Utkatasana is next. So bend the knees, sweep the arms alongside your ears. Lift up through the chest and back through the hips, and then come all the way up to stand, straightening the legs and lowering the arms. Inhale, Utkatasana again. Hands to prayer, pick up your right leg, warrior 3, chest comes forward, leg lifts up. Either stay here or put the hands on your blocks. Keep the chest lifted wherever you are. Try to keep that right leg parallel to the ground. Hear your breath. For 3. 4. And exhale, 5. High lunge, so you'll bend the front knee, engage through your belly, and then land that right foot. Interlace your fingers and turn your palms up toward the sky. Then inhale, straighten the front leg and lift up through your heart. Exhale, rebend the front knee, let it land directly over the ankle. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Really keep the breath all the way out. And then straighten the front leg, spin the back heel down and open out for triangle pose. Then really, really reach forward through that left arm, connect the left hand to the shin. Right fingertips reach to the sky, breathe here. For 1. 2. Breathe. 3. 4, and 5. Come up to the high lunge, so retrace your steps. High lunge, hands down, plank pose. Your choice now if you want to go through a full vinyasa, or if you want to keep doing our little variation where we pop down to plank pose and back up to chaturanga, down to chaturanga, back up to plank, excuse me. Downward dog is our meeting place, whatever you choose to do. And child's pose is always welcome. Big full breaths. One more breath cycle. And then step or hop. Coming back to the top of your mat, lengthening the spine, and then folding down into your legs. Utkatasana, chair, so bend your knees, sweep your arms alongside your ears, sit your hips back and down, and then come all the way up to stand. Samasthiti. Again, inhale, chair pose. Then hands to prayer, heart forward, left leg lifts up, warrior 3, exhale. Interlace the fingers, land the left foot, and then make your way all the way up. Straighten the front leg as you breathe in. Triangle pose. You're going to spin the back heel down, and then reach way forward through the right arm. Exhale. High lunge, come back up. Retrace your steps. Breathe in, chest forward. Now let's add on a twist. So you'll twist over toward the right, hook the left arm outside of the right leg, connect that arm outside of the shin or knee or thigh, gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe 1, 2, 3, breathe, 4, exhale, 5. Take your hands down to the ground. And from here, you're actually going to take Skandasana. So I want you to walk your hands over toward the left. The right toes will be at a little bit of an angle. Bend your right knee and take a stretch here of the left groin. Now, some people like to actually take some pressure off their joints by sitting up on something for this. 3 more breaths wherever you are. 1, 2, and 3. Turn to face the front. Heel toe your right foot wide to the side and lower your left knee down. Yeah, so from the front it looks like this. Listen to yourself breathing here. Again, just a few breaths. Send the air into the dense places, the earthy dense places in the hips and the leg here. Send that water element in to lubricate. Send the fire, the heat in to warm it all up to make it all more supple for this process. Last exhale might want to go out of your mouth. And then meet me in downward dog, and it's up to you. You could choose to take some form of vinyasa here in the transition period or not. Hear your breath, feel your breath. And then on an out breath transition, either stepping or hopping your feet forward between your hands, lengthening the spine on the in breath and then folding down on the out breath. Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit back deep and low, bend your knees, raise your arms alongside your ears as you inhale, and then exhale, come all the way up to stand and lower the arms. Samasthiti. Utkatasana, bend the knees, sweep the arms, breathe in. Hands to prayer, tilt your heart forward as the right leg reaches up and back. Warrior 3. High lunge, land the right foot lightly on the floor. Interlace the fingers, straighten the front leg, inhale. Then spin the back heel down, triangle pose. As you exhale, come forward, connect the hand to the shin. Inhale, come back up to a high lunge. And then twist to your left as you breathe out. Right arm outside of the left leg. And then stay here 5 breaths. Breathing 1. Breathe 2. Now notice you gotta really grow those roots through your feet, really engage the fire in the belly. And then soften something, make something more watery behind your heart. Breathe 4. Exhale 5. Take your hands down for Skandasana. Walk the hands a little over to the right. Your left toes will turn it in a little bit at an angle so that then you can bend your left knee and the knee points in the same direction as your middle toes. Right leg is extended, breathing deeply, feeling deeply. Yeah, if you like to use the block, use the block. We've got 2 more breaths here. And then you'll start to make your way to turn to face the front of the mat. But as you do, I want that left foot to go wide. So now your hands end up inside of the left foot. The right knee ends up on the floor. And then go explore the parts where you feel the stretch and see what it's like to send some air in to break up the dense qualities. To send some heat in. To make the body more sort of shapeable, more supple. To send the liquid in, to lubricate. Last exhale might want to go out of the mouth. And then maybe in downward dog. That was the last downward dog here. Take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Then you're going to look forward and you're going to step or hop all the way through to sit. And let's do a little hip opening here. So you're going to take your left shin on top of your right. And flex the feet if that's doable, if that's possible. If not, I'll show you another version. If you've just got some space between, you could always put a prop here, a blanket or a block. If you're forward folding, first lift the chest, then go for it. Otherwise, I'll show you this version on your back. You simply keep that left shin on top, but then you come onto your back and you hug the right thigh in. And now slow down your breath cycles. And allow yourself to feel your way in to this stretch. Just slow everything down. Stillness lives inside of the movement. And we can only really perceive the subtle movement of the breath and the energy when we learn how to get into a pose and become still enough for that to be possible. Last couple breaths. And then you'll simply switch sides. If you're on your back, stay on your back. If you're seated, stay seated. If you, of course, are doing it reclined, I'll demonstrate that as well, but hopefully you're just in your shape now. You're in your own experience now. Feeling your breath. Feeling yourself made of earth, water, fire, and air. Feeling how, in a sense, you're not doing yoga. The elements are doing yoga. You're just setting up all these nice conditions so that then the elements can do their job of healing and balancing and restoring. Last few breaths. Now you're gonna make your way onto your back.
And we're just closing down the practice now. So if there's anything that you really are called to do, great, you could do that instead. Otherwise, lift up the hips again, place the block underneath the sacrum, but this time take the legs up in the air and just take this minute to allow the energy to flow down through the feet, through the legs, through the hips, which we just did all this really sweet opening of, and then energy to keep flowing down through the torso, through the heart, into the throat, skull, third eye, and crown. And then whichever pose that you're choosing as your closing posture today, fully inhabit it. Arrive into the stillness at the center of this pose. Whatever sounds are happening in the space around you or inside of you, feel how there is also quiet. Now, you are welcome to come into a Shavasana or some other restful poses and continue to practice. Otherwise, if you feel complete, if you feel like you touch stillness enough and you don't need a full rest, go ahead and lower your feet, lift up your hips. Lower that sacrum back down and just come back to that starting place with the hips on the ground and the feet on the floor and the hands just on your belly. Take a couple breaths here, really getting connected to the earth element before we come up. And thank Earth. Get in touch with your water element and thank the water. Get in touch with your fire element, all that provides heat and light, and thank it. Thank air. Feel it as you breathe. And finally, thank ether, the space around all the elements and inside of all the elements. When you are ready to come up, you could come up nice and slow, or you're welcome to rock up if that feels right. Make sure that you take a nice quiet transition as slow as you can as you move into the rest of your day.